Here are the 5 most frequent questions we get when someone is considering buying or selling at the Lake of the Ozarks. Matt Smith here, Matt Smith Real Estate Group, and I'm here with the leader of our Lake of the Ozarks office, Lauren Pimentel. Lauren, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So Lauren, I wanted to share with do an educational video. There's a lot of questions that we get, and it seems that we get them over and over and over again about people that are looking to buy or sell real estate here at the Lake of the Ozarks. So I wanted to help educate the audience on what those questions are and how we would answer them.
Absolutely, let's do this.
So question 1, Lauren, is if someone were to ask you, why is now a good time to sell? Why should I sell my home at the Lake of the Ozarks? What would you say?
So one of the benefits of houses right now at Lake of the Ozarks is the amount of equity that they've been able to gain in their lakefront property. So we see certain people wanting to buy or sell, and cashing in on that equity it's been a godsend.
So equity is a huge piece. Just out of curiosity, what is the equity you've seen increase over the last couple of years in the Lake of the Ozarks?
In lakefront properties, we've seen an increase of about 35 to 40%.
Wow. That's a like huge increase. Lakefront home, 35 to 40%?
Yes, and
wow.
It's funny because I'll call a seller asking them, what they purchased it for, and they laugh and they say, well, you're not gonna believe this, but I bought it for $250,000.
Yeah.
And now it's worth this. They're even astonished to know what they paid for it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you're thinking about selling, I think that's a great point is sometimes there's some hidden equity, right? As the market has done what it's done and there's been a lot of changes, you hear the news today about, well, it's not a good time to sell because fill in the blank. The reality is everyone has their own unique situation, and what we recommend is sit down with Lauren, sit down with us here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group. Let's go through your unique situation and see if now is a good time to sell, because you may have some of that equity in your home that you may not realize. So Lauren, question number 2 is, why is now a good time to sell / why should I not wait to sell my home?
So as far as why now is a great time to sell, whenever it comes to selling your property or figuring out when the right time to sell is, one thing with this market is that we have recently seen an increase in rates. People before were talking about interest rates were up, down, up, down. We have seen a decrease in interest rates. 2, we are still in a situation where there's extremely low inventory, meaning that you don't have a lot of competition whenever it comes to listing your home. So you will have some. I feel like right now, for the most part, we're seeing anywhere from 5 to 7 properties that are relevant to or similar to the property that the seller is wanting to list. And in addition to that, there's a lot of buyers who are looking for a home, especially at Lake of the Ozarks. It's such a hot upcoming market.
Yes.
With the lack of inventory, the lower interest rates, and the amount of buyers, what better time to sell?
I couldn't agree more, Lauren. There's so many reasons why. Like, how long do you have, right? Like, if I was considering selling a home, I would put it on the market now, like yesterday. For all the reasons you mentioned, we have the amazing equity. We said around 35 to 40% increase in most lakefront homes. On top of that, interest rates have taken a significant decrease recently, and they've kind of settled down a little bit. The dust has settled. Buyer demand is through the roof. Inventory is low. The spring market is here, right? There's I can go on and on and on. And so if you're on the fence right now and you're considering selling, don't wait. Reach out to us. We will help guide you to make the right decision. And there's probably more equity and there's probably more buyers looking for your house than you may realize. And question number 3, it's a little unorthodox, but what are maybe some hidden advantages that most sellers or most agents may not be able to articulate to someone considering selling their home right now to take advantage of today's marketplace?
I think one of the number one things with our team that has been extremely helpful is having the Buyer Advantage program. So we have a list of upcoming properties that have not yet hit the market that we're able to almost, I call it speed dating for houses, to where we can swap them around, give them a sneak peek. They're not having that additional competition if they don't want to. They're able to match up timelines just right. We've actually had 2 sellers just this past week that were able to utilize both of those.
Yeah, and so a seller may be saying, Buyer's Advantage program, how does that help me in selling my home? But what Lauren is saying is that we have a program for our buyers that has first access to homes on the market. That means we have buyers looking for homes right now, and they know that we have access to off-market properties, and we may have a buyer for your property right now. In addition to that, if you're a seller and maybe you're considering buying, we also may have another property that's off market that you may not be see advertised out there that could be a good fit for you as well. Because I think another thing that holds people back from selling right now is they say, awesome, I understand the equity, I understand that you can sell my house, I understand I can make money, but where am I going to move to? And I feel like Buyer's Advantage program fills that hole as well.
Exactly. And in addition to that too, with our team, you're working with full-time real estate agents. So you talk about getting quick access to any home in the area. We're your people. And also with that too is our negotiating. So we're able to help you negotiate certain terms and conditions that are a win-win for the buyer and for the seller.
So question number 4 is, what financing options are available for someone looking to upgrade their home? So if we were talking about financing options, there's a million options out there. What are some options that would be helpful for the audience?
Some of my favorite programs right now, because lenders are getting creative to try and help as many buyers as possible with the increased interest rates. One really great program that we've had a lot of success with are our buy down programs.
Yes.
So there's different ones. You have the 3-2-1 buy down, the 2-1 buy down. There's several great programs to help offset having that higher interest rate and to work yourself towards where the market's going.
Yeah, I love that too. And so the buy downs, I want to hit on that in a second, but I want to make an important note. If you've listened to the other tips, if you're going to sell a house and then buy a home, you're probably going to have cash in your pocket, and cash is king. Cash will help you get a better deal. The interest rates don't affect you, right? There's some opportunities there that you may not be aware of. But in addition to that, if you do need financing, there are amazing options right now that are zero money out of pocket. In addition to that, you can get as much as 3% less than the market interest rate.
Yes, and that's huge.
Yes,
right
3% is a massive difference. And so there are programs out there. Don't let the interest rate stop you from pursuing. Reach out to us here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group. Reach out to Lauren, and let's see what your situation is and see what options we may have for you. So question 5, if you are renting, why is now a good time to buy a home? So Lauren, what would you say?
Great question. So number 1, anytime you are paying rent, you are paying 100% interest. One of our clients recently was paying $1,500 a month for a 2-bedroom condo, less than probably 700-800 square foot. $1,500 a month. We partnered him with a lender, and he was able to move into a property for $250,000, and it was less than his mortgage payment of what he was paying.
Wow.
So not only does he have control over making changes to his property, he has a fixed income rate. He's not paying someone else's mortgage. He's able to build equity of his own.
I love that story. I love being able to help people with that, right? So if you're renting right now, there's a couple of things that Lauren mentioned that I want to highlight is interest rates. You may think, I don't want to buy right now. Interest rates are high. The interest rate on renting is 100%. You're building no equity. You're building no future for yourself as far as an investment in your future. You are going to pay to live somewhere. You might as well pay in yourself, pay in your future. Another thing too that I think is important to note is that the home values have went up roughly 35 to 40% on some lakefront homes. And so when home values go up and they increase, guess what happens to rents as well? And after your lease expires, or you move to month, or the landlord wants to renew your lease, you have zero control. And I'm hearing some horror stories of people getting kicked out, and we just don't want that to happen to you. If you are the owner, you are in control, and we can get you with a fixed rate loan where you know what your payment's gonna be for the rest of your life. And if home values continue to increase like they have, you are building equity along the way. And like Lauren's story, you could even save money and get a nicer home, save money, and build equity. It's a win-win-win all the way around.
Yeah, and that's a great story. The one I initially told, I went on a listing appointment not too long ago, and the people had been renting for 20 years since they came to Missouri.
Yeah.
And they were tenants, and the sellers are needing to sell their house in the next 60 days, and they were almost in tears because that light bulb went on that they could have been paying on their mortgage for 20 years.
Yeah.
But chose to rent instead. And so now they're in that difficult position of, they've been very fortunate that they're only paying less than $1,000 a month for rent and having to make that transition. Luckily they're partnered with the right team, but it's eye-opening whenever you realize how much money was put towards renting versus your equity.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, to wrap that up, is that we are a no pressure sales team, right? Like, we are here to help and give people their options. But I think, like in those stories, what I think is important is, one of the reasons we wanted to do this video is to let people know they do have options, to educate and inform so you can make the right decision for yourself. And so if you're interested in learning more to see how this could affect, any of these could affect your particular situation, please don't hesitate to reach out. We at Matt Smith Real Estate Group, Lauren, we are here to help you. We are here to educate, we are here to inform so you can make the right decision for yourself and for your family.